Alright, for today's video, we are taking a leap back to 2008. But also this year? Today, we are going to be taking a look at Transformers Legacy Animated Universe, Bumblebee. Now, if I'm going to admit, Bumblebee wasn't necessarily my favorite character from Animated. That was obviously Shockwave. But that being said, Bumblebee was definitely one of the show's most memorable characters. And Animated is probably part of the reason Bumblebee is everywhere. But, you know, still. Now, I never owned an original animated Bumblebee. And with one exception, we're going to keep all the comparisons modern, because the only animated figure I actually remember where it is, other than Shockwave, is Optimus. But yeah, so here is Bumblebee. He is tiny. But given that he is one of the tiniest characters in the show, I understand that. But yeah, let's take a look at some of the detail. Nice, long car. He does have headlight or taillights picked out, or detailed, but they're not picked out in paint. Same with a back windshield. Yeah, you got the nice stripe going down. The little emergency light that he had. Yeah. And Bumblebee scanned the car mode of the human captain Fan Zone. And this was basically Fan Zone's car. Bumblebee scanned it. Well, technically, their ship scanned it and then formatted Bumblebee to turn into it. Yeah, he rolls very nicely. Very, very nicely and very smoothly. He is truly the fastest thing on wheels. Sorry about that. Yeah, he is truly the fastest thing on wheels. Now, if you also watch the show, you know, at some point Bumblebee gets thrusters. He does come with thrusters. They are transparent plastic, not yellow painted black, not black and yellow painted, which, I could do that myself if I felt like it. And you have, 2, technically 3 places you can plug these on. You can plug them on right up here, like in the show. You can plug them right here, if you want. Or you can technically plug them where they go in robot mode, right here on the back. But, and yeah, he will still roll, but, like, these are Bumblebee's thrusters. You're gonna put them where, you know, they were in his car mode in the show. And, you know, while it would be better if these were picked out in paint, they are still, you know, really nice. And that's not all. You get these little bits, which are Bumblebee's, you know, stingers in robot mode, but double as blast effects for the thrusters, which is neat. That is really, really neat. If I can put the thruster back on, like, that is cool. Yeah, you can tell it's just the stingers, but, like, still, it's kind of cool. Now, for comparison, here he is with his boss bot, Optimus. As you can see, a lot smaller, as he should be. Prime is a fire truck, Bumblebee is a fucking car. He's the equivalent to a fucking smart car. Here he is next to his frenemy Prowl. As you can see, this is definitely not in scale, like at least in vehicle mode. Bumblebee should be quite a bit bigger in vehicle mode, but it keeps the robot scaling in line, so I don't mind it too much. If you don't know those guys, here he is with Reactivate Soundwave, who I will at some point do a video on, because I really like this figure. you know, technically, if you want to not include the Basilisk, he's, like that. I can see these two cars coexist. Well, scale-wise, I can see these two cars coexisting. Style-wise, hell no. And, of course, here he is with his best buddy, Long Arm. Decent scaling. And for no reason whatsoever, here he is with Shockwave. Someone he totally never interacted with in the show. Totally. As you can see, car to a tank. Anyway, let's get down and get B into robot mode. Whoa. First thing, go ahead and remove his thrusters. Set them off to the side. Now, you can do what I do, which is slightly pull it apart and bring this section up. Which, yes, can act as a hatchback if you want to for play. Bring it back and flip this forward. Next, go ahead and finish pulling out the arms. Kind of bring them down for right now. Come right here and untab the windshield from the bottom of the car. Bring his waist up till it snaps into place. Rotate his waist 180. Go ahead and bring the arms down. And rotate the bicep. Flip the fist out. Close that panel up. Go ahead and bring it in until it thoops into place. Second verse is exactly like the first. Next, you're going to want to split the legs. Come around to the back and open these sections up. Take these little knee pads and flip them down. Flip them down. Come under here, and you see these little pieces right here? You want to flip them up. These will become his heel spurs. Flip them up. Bring his feet down, like that. You are going to want to rotate these panels 180. And close them up. Bring it around 180. Close it up. Next, you're going to want to take the windshield. Bring it down. This tab right here will tab into the slot on the windshield. And there you go. There you have Animated Bumblebee in his robot mode. And that is a really cool little animated Bumblebee. I don't remember his faceplate being silver. I think it was more of a dark gray. But to be fair, they made that change on Prowl too, so I can't really get that mad. Also, that's something they did on a lot of his toys, so again, I can't get that mad. Yeah, he's really cool. He's nice. He's nice. I like him. I'm glad this is my animated Bumblebee. I like him. Let's get in close here. Not at the crotch, which does have some good detail, but on the noggin. Again, that is Animated Bumblebee to a T. He looks good. He's got some nice detail on the arms. None of it picked out in paint because, well, in the show, his arms were just flat, had no detailing. The stripe should be on this leg, but given how it transforms, I'm fine with that. You even have the, front car detailing on his feet right here. Which, again, would have been nice if it was picked out in paint, but, customizers, and, I'm sure Toy Hacks is putting out a set that'll fix that. Yeah. You can store his thrusters, spin them around, and these ports right here, you can plug them in like this, and he can blast off the little bit his thrusters provided in the show. Or something that's kind of a clever way of doing it. If you go ahead and rotate the stinger portion, plug it into his hand, and then boom, he's got his stingers from the show. It would have been nicer if they could have plugged into the hand normally, but I'm not too upset about the stingers being attached to the boosters. You know, he's cool. He's cool. He's cool. There is another thing you can do with the stingers. If you remove them from the thrusters, you can tab them together. And then if you take his arms and flip in his hands, and then rotate his biceps, kind of bring his arms upwards, so you'll notice there's these little ports in his hands. And using the pegs on the on the stingers, plug them in, and plug him in, and he's doing his mono thruster from the show, or his mono stinger from the show, which is really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. That is really freaking cool. I like that. How many times can I say I like that? But yeah. Now, as soon as I get his hands back out, for articulation, his arms do go up about that far due to transformation. His bicep can go up the rest of the way if you want him, with fists in the air. At the bicep, he can go back that far. Just due to transformation, how things work. Yeah, but I don't mind it. Bicep can rotate. About 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. You do get rotating fists on mushroom pegs, which is nice. The head is on a very expressive ball joint. He can tilt his head. He can look down a little bit. He can look up very far. He can look all the way up. If you use the transformation joint, you can basically flip his head back into his chest almost. If you undo some transformation joints and stuff, you can get an ab crunch, but again, that requires untabbing the windshield and untabbing his back. But still, it's a little bit of a pain to get to, but it is there if you wish to use it. He's got waist rotation that goes full 360. He can kick forward about that far, just because, the shape of his crouch pad doesn't allow him to kick above that. But he can kick about that far. Outward, he can do the full splits. Thigh rotation. Over 90 degrees of bend at the knee. The feet can move forward. Can't move back too much, but they can, bend forward for a good running pose. And you do have a little bit of ankle tilt. So honestly, this guy is very poseable, which you'd kind of expect from the, younger and sprier member of the group. So for comparison, we're going to bring in his frenemy, Prowl. And this was if I can get Prowl standing up straight. This was about the scale we saw in the show. We're going to bring in Reactivate Soundwave. Just because, why not? Not bad, not bad. And we're going to bring in his boss bot, Optimus Prime. And, that's not bad scaling. Here we have his bestie, Bulkhead. And this was about the scaling we saw on the show, if what I remember is true. Yes, I know this is Prime Bulkhead, not Animated Bulkhead, but it really doesn't matter. The only real difference is the jaw being silver rather than green. And the fucking dust. Other than that, this is basically Animated Bulkhead. Even the vehicle mode fits Animated Bulky better. Oh yeah. And, of course, we can't forget Bumblebee's old pal from boot camp, Long Arm. Which, you know, that's about the scale I remember. And, you know, for some strange reason, I feel compelled to show him off against Animated Shockwave. I mean, it's not like these two had any confrontations or anything, any interactions or anything in the show. I mean, you know, these two never even met. For those of you who don't get the joke, Shockwave was undercover as an Autobot crane named Longarm, who convinced Bumblebee to get his platoon mate Wasp thrown out for being a Decepticon spy when he was a spy. I'm very much looking forward to that Star Seeker's Wasp redeco of him. That way I can have the whole gang. Oh boy, is that gonna be fun. Also, an excuse to show off Animated Longarm again, because I fucking love this figure. Anyway. So that is basically it for Animated Bumblebee. So yeah, there is Animated Bumblebee. My final thoughts, I fucking love this figure. If you are a fan of Transformers Animated, or a fan of Bumblebee, which I'm like, is sure like 90% of the fan base is, you need this figure. This is the best representation of Bumblebee. And as one of my friends, I'll tag him in the comments, or not comments, the description on Twitter showed off. You can actually swap this Bumblebee's head with, I believe, the Earthrise / Netflix Bumblebee's head. If not, it might have been the Origins version. But still, I will tag her in the comments, or at least leave a link to her Twitter, or X. I'm gonna call it Twitter, I don't fucking care. Showing that, yeah, you can swap the heads, which would make, like, the perfect definitive Bumblebee, in my opinion. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more of this. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.